Hi, and welcome to the Pink Cloud channel. Last week I watched the Mamamoo Where Are We Now documentary, and in this video I will be talking about my thoughts on it and so on. And I want to apologize if there are some construction work noises in the background. I don't know what my neighbors are doing. So, since every episode kind of focused on one member, but at the same time they went through the Mamamoo journey through the episode, so there was kind of like focus on the member, but then telling of their journey. I will first talk about each member and what they talked about them, and then just generally about other thoughts of the documentary. So the first episode was about Yongsun, Solar, and it was mostly because it was the first episode. It was mostly focused on her audition process. I think it's so interesting, and I think they should have delved more into the fact that Yongsun didn't want to be a singer or an idol. She wanted to be a flight attendant. So I think they should have talked more about what changed her mind, especially since she has such incredible vocals. So to me, it's so surprising that she didn't always want to be a singer. And yeah, they showed all of their pre-debut clips, which were so cute and lovely. But I feel like they could have delved more into Youngsun's story like that. Then they touched a little upon the fact that Yongsun was chosen as the leader and how she didn't feel like she should be the leader, but she was chosen because she was the oldest. She's the youngest in her family, so she didn't feel like it was the right choice, but she has grown into it. And I really hope Yongsun knows what a great leader she is. But again, I wish they had delved more into like what it felt like to go from being the youngest in the family to now being a leader and the oldest of the group. What I wish they had delved more into is that Solar writes a lot of songs for Mamamoo and herself. And I'm so interested in the creative process of making music. So I wish they had talked more about okay, how did Youngsun become interested in making music? And they did show a few clips of her recording music, but I feel like they could have discussed her creative process more. Then the second episode was about hwasa, and the focus was on her fierce image and how she had been this fierce since pre-debut days, and we saw it from the pre-debut clips. I personally do not feel comfortable repeating the ways they talked about hwasa as a teenager, about how they talked about her body, and so I feel like that was quite gross in my opinion, and then just uncalled for to basically mock her. And Hyejin shared about her mental health issues and how she thought maybe it would be easier if she wasn't here, and I really applaud her for being so honest and vulnerable. I really hope she's doing better now. And I remember when Maria, the mini album, dropped and I saw the lyrics translators for the first time, I was very worried about her. And then during the time of the release, she had back issues and her mother had some health issues. I was really worried about her, and I really hope she's doing better now. What I didn't like is that Kim Do-hyun, I think it's Kim Do-hyun, said that Maria, hwasa's solo song, was continuation of Hip. Now, are they both fierce, empowering songs? Absolutely, but they are not related to each other at all. Hip is about Mamamoo as a group calling out bullshit. Oh, should probably not say that. But Maria is about hwasa's own struggles and trying to stay alive, I suppose. Like, it diminishes hwasa's own solo work by saying it was a continuation of a group song, if you know what I mean. Again, I loved seeing little bits of her recording Maria album, but yeah, I feel like they should have focused more on Maria, the song, and the album as hwasa's own releases and not connect them to as like Mamamoo songs continuations of Mamamoo songs. And again, I wish they had focused more on hwasa's artistry rather than just say that she's fierce. Like, yes, we know that, but I wish we were given more information about how she is as an artist in the studio, you know? Then the third episode focused on Wheein, and understandably, it was a lot about her decision to leave RBW and how she wanted to be in a new environment and refresh her thoughts. And yeah, and I think it's a very understandable explanation, especially everything that RBW made Mamamoo go through. What I was surprised about was that Kim Jo-hoon and others, they praised Wheein. Now, I'm not... Obviously, Wheein deserves all the praise in the world. She's amazing. But I thought Kim Jo-hoon would be salty about Wheein leaving. I wonder if they filmed it before she left. But yeah, she got a lot of praises for her unique voice and artistry, which was really cool to see. Wheein also opened up a lot about how she doesn't like to burden others and how she keeps her problems to herself. And I, again, applaud her for sharing about her issues and like being open about it. And we have seen moves that she has really bloomed while being under the live. So I really hope she's doing better now. Then the last episode was about moonbyul. And the focus on her was about her style and how it's androgynous and that she tries different styles, that she is not just boxed into male or female. She can do all. But I feel like this is a reoccurring theme, but they should have focused more on Moonbyul's artistry. She's a rapper, she's a singer. She writes most of Mamamoo's songs and her own songs. I wish there had been more discussions about why she wants to write and be so heavily involved in the music, and just all about the creative process. I feel like they should have discussed her talents way more than they did. And I think Moonbyul, especially Moonbyul, but all of them, talked about their worries about the group and how times have become different, and how before that it was just the four of them in a small company, and now there's lots of people working with them. I thought that was very interesting perspective to bring. So yeah, that was about what I thought about how they talked about each individual member. Again, I wish they had focused on all of them more as their artistry and how they are as artists, not just like one aspect of their journey. So yeah. Okay, then what they discussed about the documentary about the group. First of all, they talked about Mamamoo's international success, as they should, but it was a documentary that was not available for international fans or international viewing at all. I watched it on YouTube because a translator uploaded it with English subtitles. So it's very highly ironic that they showed clips of Mamamoo being successful in different countries, which, by the way, they are, but then not make their documentary available for international fans. Like, why would you do that? And continuing on the international aspect, for some reason they shared that they were supposed to promote Mamamoo internationally starting 2020, but COVID came and suddenly they just absolutely could not do anything. They said something about booking Coachella for 2020, but then obviously that fell through. And trying to use COVID as a way to excuse not promoting your artists internationally is a choice. Obviously, they could have done international promo just online. Let's start by adding English subtitles to their YouTube videos. But interviews, whatever you can do online, you can do that. Like interviews on Zoom, for magazines, for YouTube, just a small thing like that they don't do. and saying that, well, we don't do it because of COVID. I feel like it's such a weak excuse. And also the fact that they were gonna start international promo only in 2020, when they were slowly building up international success throughout their career, but especially starting from 2018. That's when they should have started with international promo, like completely, not just like an event here and there, you know? And I wish there had been more conversations about Mamamoo's artistry, not only the like members as their own individual artists, but as Mamamoo as a group, because the members are really involved in their music and their message and their whole brand. I wish there had been like more discussions, like, okay, what was the vision from the group in the beginning? How did it change? What kind of discussions they had? How did they create this album? Or, well, they talked a lot about their debut single, about Mr. Ambiguous. Other than that, and even they was focused on Kim Jo-hyun, not really on the girls. For me, Mamamoo first and foremost are artists who are very involved in their music. So I wish they would have discussed that more. I really appreciate how honest they were about their bond and how it has changed now that they have grown up, and how they talk less and there are more people involved and it's not the same as they were young. You see, prior to the documentary airing, I saw a few clips translated on Twitter, and honestly it made it sound like Mamamoo were having horrible time, they hate each other, based on those clips out of context. But when I watched the whole documentary, I could see that they love each other and they appreciate being in the group, but they also acknowledge the reality of being in a group and growing up in the group when you want to pursue your own personal artistry, and just when you grow and how that changes your bond. But first and foremost, the message that I got from them was like, even though we change, even though we grow, we still appreciate being in Mamamoo and we respect each other and we want to be in this in the long haul, even if it looks different than it did, let's say, in 2015. When they went on that trip and watched a movie about themselves and then had a little bit of conversations about how they feel about the group and how they feel about it on their own, I feel like that was such a great insight to what it's like to be in a group like Mamamoo. And I really appreciate their honesty, and I appreciate that they didn't try to make it seem like everything is perfect and they're happy all the time, but that there is this aspect of melancholy, and that's okay, it's part of life. I also thought the conversations with Hyori were really interesting to hear, like the perspective of someone who was in a girl group in the 90s and how it compares to Mamamoo right now in the 2020s. I love Refund Sisters, so having that kind of reuniting of hwasa and Hyori was also nice to see. And I thought their conversations were really interesting. And there was this comment from Hyori about how groups may not be friends with each other, like they are colleagues at work and that's fine. However, I don't think that's Mamamoo, like based on what we've seen of them. But like that can be true for many groups, and they can still be, members can still be friendly and like each other, but they don't have to be besties forever, you know? Overall, before I watched the documentary and based on the clips on Twitter that were kind of taken out of context, I was dreading watching this documentary. I was like, am I have to say goodbye to Mamamoo? But after watching the documentary, I felt that Mamamoo are in this in the long haul and that they are here to stay, but it's not gonna be the same as it was in their earlier years, and that's completely fine. Again, I would have liked to hear more about their artistry and their creative work. There was some of it, but like I'm just so interested in all of that, so maybe that's just what I personally want. I think even non-moos can watch this documentary to kind of see the daily life and thoughts of a Korean girl group, like if they want to learn more about that. And yes, I'm so glad that they did this documentary, even if it wasn't exactly like, even if they could have discussed some things more because I wanted them to, but overall, I really liked the documentary. Also, less Kim Do-hyun, please. It's about Mamamoo, not about Kim Do-hyun. Okay, thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you thought about the documentary, and leave a like and a comment and subscribe for more videos about BTS and Mamamoo. Okay, thank you. Bye.